each morning for a newborn day, where we may work the fields of newborn day. We thank thee for the sunshine and the air that we breathe, oh Lord. We thank thee.
Hello, good evening and welcome to yet another edition of your program, Reminiscences. A program which brings you the lives of achievers in every discipline in this country. We bring you the stories of people who seem to have neon-signed their names in their chosen profession. We bring you their sweat and sweat, their pains and gains, their battles and triumphs in this mysterious journey called life. My guest today is Chief Oladunni Aremusani, a lawyer of repute, a chartered secretary, a former senior magistrate of the old Western State, and a community leader. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
Like I always do, let me read a bit of the background of my guest, Chief Oladunni Aremusani. He was born at Shala Quarters, Ayetoro Yewa, formerly Egbado, on the 19th of March 1934. His parents were Abioye Ishola Sanni and Aminatu Agbola Ajoke Sanni. His paternal grandfather was Oni of Shala Quarters, Ayetoro Yewa, and his maternal grandmother was Maria Olaore Olaleye ni Onikpede of Ishagaorile Egbado, now Yewa. 6 months after his birth, he was taken to his grandmother at Erinpa, where he lived until he started schooling at Ikereku United School on 30th July 1944. From August 1944, he was in Class 1A, and in 1945, he was in Class 1B. He did not read Primary 2 because he was promoted from Class 1B to Standard 1 in 1946. He was at Ikereku United School until 1947, where he read Standard 2. It was that August 1947 that his great-grandmother died. Hence, he left Ishagaorile to live with his uncle, Chief Josiah Olushola Olaleye. He was a teacher at Iju United School, Iboro, in 1948 and 1949 to read classes 3 and 4. By January 1950, he moved to Ogbe Methodist School, the same school his uncle Chief Josiah Olushola Olaleye attended. He did not read Standard 6 at Ogbe Methodist School because he was admitted to Abeokuta Grammar School in January 1951. He read up to Class 4 before leaving Abeokuta Grammar School because his grandmother, Maria Olaore Onikpede, was old and could no longer support. He had to start working at Egbado Divisional Council as a nurse apprentice. Later, he was engaged at the Nigerian Post Authority at Papa, where he was until he joined Kingsway Stores Lagos UAC branch in 1956. He was lucky in Kingsway Stores Lagos because he became the head furniture department. He left Nigeria in August 1959 to England for further education. He did draftsmanship for some months, then the secretaryship course leading to Association of Corporate Secretaries. He did the examination for the Associate Member of Corporation Secretaries from 1960 to 1963 at Northwestern Polytechnic, London, England. After passing the Corporation of Secretaries final examination, he had in mind the law profession. He therefore studied law with a scholarship from North London, where he had lived for more than 3 years. He did the law course under 18 months. He arrived in Nigeria in October 1965 and practiced law at the old Western State, where he rose to the position of senior magistrate between 1970 and 1975 before founding his own law firm, Aremusani and Associates. My guest is married with children and grandchildren. Once again, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Chief Sanni, let's start this way. You will be 84 March.
I'll be 84 on the 19th of March.
19th of March. And Yorubas have this saying, at 84. And how are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling okay, but I am not feeling well with what I used to do. I cannot do it. I go out, well, at least once a week, but I'm always at home. But I cannot go to parties again.
Okay.
I shaved that.
Okay.
But all other things, apart from the fact that I cannot walk very well, my head is good and nothing happens to my head.
Okay. We thank God for that. So longevity, I've had occasion to ask several people, 70, 80, 90 plus. Are there secrets of longevity?
Well, there's no secret. The secret is in God and nothing more. God does everything. There's no human being that can live beyond what God wants. That's what I can say. It's God's work.
So what do you feel? Like I said, I've had opportunity to talk with elderly people. Some will say, I don't drink. Some will say, I don't eat that kind of food. Some will say, I've stopped this 20 years ago, and so on and so forth.
No,
what's your thinking about such things?
I was a drunkard before, but almost 30 years ago, I've stopped drinking. But all other things, I do everything pertaining to what young age can do. But I stopped everything about 30 years ago.
Okay. Now, looking back 84 years and the life's journey, would you say at 34, looking back, you've achieved all you set out in life to achieve?
Well, I've achieved all that I set in life to achieve. I don't mind to die today because everything I want, I've done it. And all my children are doing fine. That is the most important. There's no one of them who is misbehaving. That's why I thank God. So if death comes today, I am okay.
Okay, as a follow-up, do you then believe in destiny?
I believe in destiny very, very well.
Why do you say that?
Well, because without destiny, you cannot do so many things. If you are destined to do something in life, you will do it. But if you are not destined to do it, I'm sorry, you cannot find a way to do it.
Okay, so let me ask you this quotation or this saying. Someone was asked to define destiny, and she said, destiny is a persistent effort with God's mercy and blessings. That is, if you believe that you are destined to become something, does it mean you are going to fold your arms and sit?
No, you cannot follow. You have to work hard. You have to work hard because before you can achieve anything in life, you have to work hard for it. Nothing can be given to you without your
nothing on the platter of gold.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's start our work in the past. Let's see if I can reduce 84 years to 1 hour. And I start this way. As you're sitting there, what do you remember about your father?
My father was a farmer. He lost me. And even when I was taken to my grandmother at the age of 6 months, he came every day to come and see me before I'm of age. So my father is a very, very loving father whom I cannot forget in this world.
Did he spoil you?
No. It's only my grandmother that spoiled me. I'm happy. My grandmother spoiled me. I never knew I can read, and nobody knew I can read, because the way my grandmother took me, it was very bloodish, because he had 2 female children and 9 children who are made dead. So that was why he took hold of me immediately. I'm 6 months. Nothing more, nothing else. Because he has lost 9 children who are males. Yeah. And that my daughter has got a male child. That's why he took me at the age of 6 months.
Okay, your father was a farmer. Was this a polygamous setup?
No.
It wasn't?
No, it wasn't.
Even at that time?
It was even. Look, it's about how many years? My mother died in 1966, and almost about 20 years of that. After that, he was forced to marry somebody. But he was forced to marry. But that one only had 1 child. That's why I can say. But apart from that.
Okay, so how many were you, his children, those years? Were you the first person, the first child?
I'm the first child.
Okay.
And we are 6.
Okay.
6 in number.
So,
but we're only 3 living in now. 3 have gone.
Okay. God rest their souls. Now your mother. What do you remember about her?
My mother is a true mother. He loved me as he loved all other children. He took care of me, and unfortunately, when I arrived from England in 1965, she used to come to Lagos to look to me every time. She was coming on the 15th of December 1966, that was the time I became four lawyers. I became a lawyer. I became a Nigerian lawyer 4 months before 1966. In precisely 21st of July 1966, I was called to Nigerian bar, and I started practicing on 22nd. But when she was coming to me, she had a motor accident and she died. That was on the 15th of December 1966. But since then,
Okay, how did you start school?
well, I started schooling
In
on the 30th of July 1944.
Yeah.
I was at Irikwa with my grandmother. So my grandmother called me and said I should start schooling now. Then he had a niece with her then. That was what called Fadike Olaore, was married to Adekunle of Ayetoro.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that my sister died very soon after he entered the husband's house. But they had a child
Okay.
who has become the bishop of Anglican Church, and even he has retired now. He's now Bishop Adekunle.
Okay. Now, growing up in Ayetoro, how was life in those years?
When the life was very, very good then. Everything was good. Whatever you want to get it, whatever you want to do, you do it. But like nowadays, when things are very, very difficult.
Now, what motivated, how did you start school? I'm asking because a village life, perhaps school, you said you made you to read, that your grandmother spoiled you. Now, how did that happen that eventually you had to start school?
Well, he had to send me to her own grandmother and grandfather at Ishaga. My grandfather was then Ulu of Ishaga. My great grandfather was then Ulu of Ishaga, and her mother was Omatayo Akake, who accidentally died on the 6th of August 1947, and I had a child called Bose Oshoko, now Bose Sanni, on the 6th of August 1964, the same day.
Okay. Okay. Now, from there, you came to Ogbe. First of all, let's talk about the promotion you had when you started school. You were promoted.
Yes.
How did that happen? How did you achieve that?
Well, because I was brilliant then. That's why I did not read class 2 infant.
Okay.
And well, the brilliancy is the same thing that happened that I did not read standard 6 at all when I went to the school.
Yeah.
I thank God for that.
Okay.
So give me the chance to do everything I have done about my education in my life.
Yeah. Now, do you remember some of your mates? Maybe at the primary school or the secondary school?
My classes at primary school, I can remember Kukuola. I can remember the former Ulu of Ilewo, Patona.
Okay.
We were together at a University school.
Okay. What about Abeokuta Grammar School?
Oh, whatever grammar school. I still remember most of my classmates. One of my classmates is Yoshile of Igwaland.
Okay. Was it automatic you had to go to grammar school then?
Automatic.
It was grammar school or no other school?
No, because I have to pass the exam.
Okay.
You took the exam and you pass it before you go to school.
I know. I'm asking because I was BBHS, about grammar school, schools like that.
I took an entrance examination to Abeokuta Grammar School and I passed it.
Okay.
So I had to go to Abeokuta School.
Okay.
So one of my classmates are Yoshile is one of them. Adewolu.
Okay.
You know Adewolu.
Chief Dodge Adewolu.
Chief Dodge Adewolu is one of them. Arogunade is one of them. Well, I have so many classmates who are still living, and we meet every time.
Okay. That's good. Now, reading through your biography, there was a story that when you finished school, you had to go for apprentice nursing. And some of your classmates came to you that,
Yes,
okay, can you tell us the story?
Then Nick Bicasset came
Yes,
to me
yeah.
and told me that it was going to be coming of me washing sauce. I should find something to do. Then it is then I made up my mind to go to Lagos, and I made my mind to go to Lagos and got a job at Nigerian Port Authority.
How did you get that job?
Well, I just got there, telling them I want a job, and that was all.
That was all.
That was all.
You didn't.
Those days,
you didn't know anybody.
No,
you didn't lobby.
No, in those days, no. I didn't even when I left Nigerian Port Authority, I went to Kingsway. I did not know anybody. I didn't know anybody.
So how was life then?
Well,
Port Authority, Kingsway, Lagos.
Well, life was.
Did you become a Lagos boy at that time?
Lagos was very good.
Okay.
I became a Lagos boy because furniture department is about the largest section in Kingsway stores, and a lot of things happen, but I thank God I weathered it through.
One would have thought that perhaps it was before independence.
It was so independent.
How did they get that confidence in you to have put you at head at that time in this country?
Well, I don't know. Only it is God work, not human being. Because I don't know anybody. It's God work, not human being.
So how are you living life as a Lagos boy?
I was living like a Lagos boy. I was doing everything not good for a young boy, but I thank God I went right through.